Noelle, we're catching up for the first time in a few weeks, but the Pirates have had a lot happen in that time. You won a match down at Pacific. You took a trip to Texas, and this past weekend you were just down in Oregon and played maybe one of the most exciting matches in school history. Let's go back through each of those. Talk about that win over Pacific, our first conference win of the year.
Yeah, that was a great win for us, especially having left off last year, not getting the win against them. And so coming in, they were really hungry to perform and do their absolute best. And they worked through a lot of hard pieces in that game and stayed on top for the majority of each of the quarters besides that first one. And we were really able to capitalize, and we had every single person on the attack and midfield score a goal. So that just speaks a lot to like what the future is going to look like for us.
Talk about the spring break trip to Texas, and you guys won a match as well as lost a match, but you also had some other experiences there, and just some of the fun that goes on a trip like that.
Yeah, it was a really great experience just to get them off campus and being together for a longer period of time. And we had a tough match against Southwestern. You know, they're 10-1 on their season, I think 11-1 now, so we knew they were going to be tough competition, but really helped us point out what things we could work on. And then we were able to come back and win the following day down there against Dallas, and it was a really complete team effort. We had a lot of new midfielders in the mix score as well, and one of our defenders got her first collegiate goal in her 4 years, so that was exciting. And then when we were down there, we also worked with Bridge Lacrosse, so they are an organization down in the Dallas area that brings lacrosse to lower income areas in the city. And usually lacrosse is a sport that's normally more in areas that have a little bit more money, so getting it out to different communities has been exciting for them. And we got a chance to help run one of their practices, and they're an amazing group of young women, and they're high school players, and they're in the middle of their season as well, so it was fun to be able to give back and work with them and maybe see some of them in a Pirates uniform one day.
This past weekend you were down in Oregon. You played George Fox, who's been at the top of the conference for several years, and they're still very good. And then on Sunday, that match at Linfield, and really that third quarter and the momentum you guys built in that comeback. Just talk about what you saw from this team, and maybe everything that you've been working on this year is starting to come together.
Yeah, we knew like both games were going to be really tough, and then when we got into that Linfield game, you know, being down by 6 after the second quarter there, that's the largest comeback we've ever had as a team, and that really builds momentum and allows our team to see like when things get hard, like we can get those goals in the back of the net. Again, we had multiple different people score, and it was really a full team effort, so some of the things that necessarily wouldn't show up on the stat sheets, but we had amazing contribution from the defense and the midfielders with caused turnovers, with ground balls, with getting double teams in the defensive end, and then carrying the ball. We had each of our defenders have really long carries in the transition, which allowed our midfielders to get down on the attack end as quickly as possible. And then we had some amazing assists in, really nice finishes on the goal, and those are all things we've been really working towards, especially that transition piece. And you got to give our midfielders a ton of credit. Like, we didn't come away with it in that last quarter, but they worked really hard the whole game. They never got a sub, and this is the first time that our team has ever beat the Linfield in draw controls, and they have really strong draw control unit, and no other team in our conference beats them in draws. So that was something that really attributed to our midfielders' success too.
This week, a midweek match tomorrow against Whitman, and then hosting Willamette and Pacific, two teams we've already seen this year. So give us a scout against Whitman, because it'll be our first time that we play them, and then just talk about playing the same team for a second time in the season.
Yeah, so Women will finish off that first set of our conference play, and their team has some strong freshmen, some fast midfielders, so that's going to be, you know, their biggest advantage. But for us, we have a really strong D unit coming, especially from this weekend, so we're going to be able to use that to our advantage. And then getting to play Willamette and Pacific again will be great matches. I know our team is excited to keep that momentum going, and Willamette will be a great team to, you know, play again and get a second opportunity at them.